into the Nick Saban Show presented by Truckworks. Alabama beats Ole Miss for the SEC home opener 59-31. And, Coach, a lot of records broken today from DeVonta Smith and Tua Tagovailoa.
Well, those guys really played well today. You know, Tua's played very well all year. We had some other, times where we were behind the defense and could have made explosive plays, and we actually missed a few. What would his stats been like if it had hit them all? But Smitty had an incredible day. But Smitty's such a hard worker. It couldn't happen to a better guy, and great reward. You know, people ask me all the time, was it like, did you have it set up that he was going to have this kind of day? But really, you call plays, you read coverages, you throw it to the open guy. And it just happened to be today that Smitty was the open guy a lot, and he did a great job, catching, and run after catch was really effective for him. So he had a really, really productive day.
And that's what you'll see in the first half highlights.
Tua repositions Najee into the pistol formation. Wide outs to the left side. Play action fake again across the middle. Broken free. Touchdown Alabama. DeVonta Smith. Now into the end zone, but everybody knew it was going to be a touchdown Alabama from midfield, 74 yards. Those slants, he broke free, and that play works every week, every time, every game. Now with Jalen Waddle back, here's the punt by the Reds. Waddle mishandles it. It deflects to Ole Miss. It's picked up and is going to be running for a touchdown. The ball deflected was mishandled by Jalen Waddle, picked up by A.J. Finley, and he runs it in for a touchdown. Oh my!
After further review, the ball was not possessed, but rather muffed. Therefore, the Ole Miss's ball, first down at the 30-yard line on the right hash.
Rebels 1 of 2 and third down plays. They keep it on a fake, and the quarterback walks it in for a touchdown. Judy in motion from the left side. Tua rolls left. Tua looks, thought about throwing, pulls it down, humps twice, and carries it in for a touchdown. He thought that one over. He was going through his progressions, and on the second pump, everybody bought it, and the middle opened up for a touchdown. Najee lines up to Tua's right. Tua gets the snap, waist high, comes underneath, finds DeVonta. He'll angle with a change. He's got the first down and more, stays in bounds, works down the right sideline, but did he stay in bounds? Let's wait and see what the officials rule. Apparently, he stayed in bounds for a touchdown. 25 yards. Again, one of those, how did he do that kind of plays? What a play, touchdown Alabama. Running back, Najee Harris to the right of Tua Tagovailoa. Tua steps back, easy toss, right side, DeVonta around the defender, who bangs his hand on the turf in disgust as he runs down the right sideline for a touchdown. Touchdown Alabama, 23 yards. The defensive back came up with air as DeVonta just went right down the right sideline for a touchdown. Here's Judy in motion, goes behind Tua and Najee. Now Tua looks right, nothing there, throws long, end zone, DeVonta, touchdown Alabama! DeVonta Smith, what a day he is having, a 33-yard masterful reception from Tua Tagovailoa, and Alabama pads their lead. Let me see, Tua Tagovailoa to DeVonta Smith. I've heard that combination before.
So as you head into the locker room, something happened early in the game where you were actually behind to start this contest off.
Well, we turned the ball over on the punt, muff punt, which gave them great field position, which led to their first score. And, we struggled a little bit early in the game on defense because I call it playing through the script. You get a lot of empty and quads formations, some of which you practiced, some of which you didn't. And you have to adapt to all these things. And then we settled down and played pretty well. when we got behind 10-7, we had like 31 unanswered points, which was really good, on our part, offense and defense both. And I thought we came out and, started the second half okay, but it was really good to see the players bounce back after a pretty sluggish start.
You'll see the second half highlights when we come back on the Nick Saban Show.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. And by Tiffin Motorhomes, made to move you.
Welcome back to the Nick Saban Show. Coming out of the locker room, you've got a 38-10 lead, but you never play with the scoreboard. You're playing to a certain championship level.
Right, and we really didn't play to that level in the first half. I was a little disappointed in the number of penalties, that we had in the first half. We turned the ball over, which we talked about. We never got off the field on third down like we needed to. And we weren't ready for all the things that they did with the quarterback, so we had a lot of adjustments to make at halftime, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And, we wanted to control the game on offense, and we started out with a really good drive in the second half and stopped them and scored another touchdown. But I don't think we finished the game like we really like to.
You'll see the second half highlights now, and then we'll talk to Coach about how things finished up.
Second half highlights are brought to you by BBVA, proud banking partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Here now, 1st and 10 from the 27. Tua looks left side. There's DeVonta, grabs it, bobbles it. DeVonta Smith, another touchdown reception. He has just passed Amari Cooper for the most receiving yards in a single ball game in Alabama history. Ely to the left of the quarterback. Plumlee gets the snap, play action fake, rolls right, throws underneath. Catch by Ely, he'll cut back inside the defense and take it in for a touchdown. And a block, the punt is blocked. They took too much time. Ali Cajo will cover it in the end zone. Touchdown. Ali Cajo blocks the punt and then covers it in the end zone for a touchdown. Here now the snap again on a 4th down play, throwing towards the end zone, reaching around, making the grab is Mingo. The 3rd down and 8, Tua. The snap to the shotgun is thigh high. He throws, finds Forrestall, wide open, he runs over 3 men. Touchdown, Alabama! They are 1 of 2 in 4th down conversions today. The snap. Plumlee rolls left, throws, intercepted Alabama. Intercepted by Jared Maiden. He'll bring it back to the right side 40. Up the right sideline 50 and run out of bounds at the 49-yard line. That is the 6th interception of the year. Now with 10 seconds to go, Tisdale throws it for all he's worth towards the end zone. Touchdown over their shoulder. A big, long throw by Tisdale.
So Alabama wins at 59-31, 5-0, 2-0 in the conference. The running game averaged 7 yards a carry today, and there were a lot of positives and then some things you really want to work on.
Well, and I think, Tua had another great day, 6 touchdowns, 400-some yards passing. I think you mentioned the fact that I thought we ran the ball more effectively today, or at least on a consistent basis. But I think the most disappointing thing is we weren't able to get off the field on 3rd down on defense. A lot of it was a scrambling quarterback. We gave up some plays at the end of the game that, we're not going to be able to allow teams to come back. I don't care who's playing in the game. It doesn't matter who's playing in the game. Everybody's got a job to do. So I was a little disappointed that we gave up a couple scores at the end of the game. But, it was a hard, tough-fought game. Not our best performance. We got exposed in some areas that we definitely need to get fixed. And if we're going to have the kind of season that we would like to have, or it's our goal to have, we're going to have to make some improvements in some of those areas.
We'll take you as the Nick Saban Show continues. All access later on. Stay with us.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide. By Coca-Cola, share a Coke. And by Aflac. Get to know us at aflac.com.
Back on the Nick Saban Show, and it's time for the turning point of the game. And behind early, and then Alabama rallies. That's a big point in the game.
Right. Well, there was a turning point in the game for Ole Miss, and that was probably the muff punt that they had early in the game, which led to their first score, because we went right down and scored early in the game. When we got behind 10-7 in the game, for us to score, 31 unanswered points, I think that was definitely the turning point of the game. We got some stops on defense, and we did a great job of scoring every time we had the ball on offense.
So that's the turning point of the game. Let's talk about one of the members of your staff, a guy who's been here before and he's back, and that's Sal Sunseri.
Well, Sal has been with us 3 different times, I think, through the years, and we always welcome him back on the staff. He's got a great family. Vinny played for us. Both of his sons are graduate assistants for us right now. So you just feel like some people on your staff are like, just belong there. And Sal's done a great job of coaching his players, and he's a really good recruiter, and he does a great job of developing relationships with players, which I think is very important as well.
It's a family affair, as Maggie Hetzel takes us all access thanks to Mercedes-Benz.
Coach Sal Sunseri, outside linebackers.
Boom, right there. You're on the outside of him. Good job, T. You got me, babes?
If I went and found some of your former players, how would they describe you as a coach?
Very simple. They know I care about them. They know I'm going to put my arm around them. But if they're not getting done what I'm asking them to do, I'm going to tell them what I want to do, but then I'm going to demand what I want them to do. And that's the whole thing about coaching, being able to relate. Every single player is wired different. You got to find out what makes it work for them so they can think, process, and go do what they need to do. But the bottom line is I care about these kids. I want them to have the most success that they can have on the football field. But they also got to put some effort towards it. They got to study football. You got to understand the opponent you're playing against, what he does, better than he even knows what he does. And when you do that and you give yourself a chance, you will make plays.
Well, you return Anthony Jennings, Terrell Lewis, Chris Allen. What's it like having those names in your room?
It's really good. It's some very talented young men, and when you have talented young men, they got to live up to their expectations. And then I think, like anything else, it's about the work ethic that you put forward to become a difference maker. It's not a 1 or 2 play thing. It's an every down play. You got to be the difference. You've got to be that Freddy Cougar mentality, relentless. I'm coming after you. I'm going to stop you. I'm going to run by you. I'm going to make a play that's going to be a difference in us going there where we want to go and have an ability to win championship.
Well, I could pick your brain about football all day. We're going to go off the field, though. I know you have a great family. Both your sons coach here at Alabama with you. What does that mean?
Well, I'm very, very fortunate. And, Coach Saban gave these guys an opportunity. Both of them had very good college careers, and then they went out there and they decided they wanted to get in coaching. But to be able to come in the building after 37 years of coaching and to see your sons, because the last 36, I haven't seen them. My wife basically raised them and did an outstanding job, but to come into an office, say good morning to your boys, see your boys, and be around them all day, it's fantastic.
All right, this is the part of the show where KS Services brings you a little chalk talk here with Coach Saban. Coach, the board's yours.
Well, we put the formation into the boundary here. We have trips into the boundary, and most teams have some kind of check that they're going to make, and it looks like they're trying to play quarters here. They bring the safety down on the field, so we really have one-on-one coverage, but we're going to take Jerry in what we call orbit motion, which is going to get this safety to rotate out to the other side as the play develops here. And then we're going to run what we call fire post. All right, so we run double post, and they're playing quarters coverage on this side, so this safety has to take the first post. That leaves Smitty one-on-one, all right, with the outside corner who needs to play inside technique, but Smitty runs a really good route. You see their secondary rotate. Smitty beats and makes a great catch. Very good throw by Tua, so big play touchdown for us.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Cooper Tires. Roll Tide on Cooper Tires. Visit coopertires.com for a retailer near you. Ask the Coach is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Hey Coach, my name's Alyssa and I'm from Academy Sports. Injury prevention is a big part of a successful season. So how important is your sports medical staff?
Alyssa, the sports medical staff is one of the most important elements that you have in your program, because the number one thing you need to have with your sports medical staff and your players is the players have to trust those people, because people get injured. We have rehab programs for them, and they have to trust that what we say they need to do is going to be beneficial to them in their future. And we have a fantastic medical staff here, starting with Dr. Andrews and Dr. Kane, right on down to our trainer, Jeff Allen, and all the people who work with our players. And they have a tremendous amount of trust and respect. Our players have a tremendous amount of trust and respect for those people, and they have done a wonderful job of keeping our players on the field. As coaches, we always want to practice safe, so we try to prevent injuries. Sometimes injuries are a part of every sport, and they're a part of football, and to have a great medical staff is a really important part of us being successful.
All right, Coach, this week we're talking about Anthony Jennings and looking at his, and speaking of the medical staff, here's a guy who has fought through a lot to get to this point in his career.
Well, Anthony's a great player for us, and he has overcome tremendous adversity. I mean, he had a really tough injury, in the playoff game that we had against Clemson a couple years ago, and it was an 8 or 9 month rehab for him to be able to come back. And, he wasn't 100% all last year, but he played tough, and he's playing really, really well for us this year. He's a great person. He's a good leader on our team, and he sets a great example for the other players. So, his leadership has really been special for us this year so far.
Maggie Hetzel sets down now with Anthony Jennings.
Anthony Jennings, outside linebacker, David, Alabama.
Here now, it's the play action fake, and in comes the rush on the quarterback.
So you're from Alabama. Did that weigh into your decision to come to Alabama, or what was the reasoning behind it?
Definitely, and I mean, I wanted to prove that I could play with like the best or against the best. I mean, the SEC Conference and Alabama, it don't get no better than that. So, and I wanted to demand from excellence that Coach Saban brought upon his players.
So now as a senior, give me what it was like stepping on the field freshman year, and now going into Bryant-Denny Stadium for your first game of the year.
I was struck. I mean, the atmosphere, the whole thing around game day that builds up the Alabama game day experience. It just, if you, I mean, you gotta embrace it, but then again, it gets where that's your job. You gotta get used to it and do what you do.
You're heading into your senior season. You do have a new coaching staff. Coach Sunseri is the outside linebacker. So what has that transition been like, and what's the culture like in the room?
It's all love. We know what type of Coach Sal is, what he brings. We respect him, and you know what I'm saying. We ready to go to work for him and ready to do what we got to do. He coaches hard, but it's all love in the end. So you gotta love that.
Looking back and playing in the yard when you were 7 or 8, what does football mean to you at this point?
Man, it's a way for me to just give back and just show people that you can do this, and you just gotta dream big and just work hard. Cause I mean, I would never thought all this would happen, but it did. So we're gonna keep on riding this thing out.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by AT&T, the official wireless provider of the Crimson Tide. AT&T, mobilizing your world. Here's what's next, presented by AT&T.
All right, what's next, presented by AT&T, and it's a bye week, no game on the schedule, but a lot of work to do before we head to Texas A&M.
Well, and I told the players after the game, there's 2 ways that you can approach a bye week. It's a week off, or is it an opportunity to improve and us get better at some areas that, we've had issues with and problems with. It's also an opportunity for us to get some of the young players that have had to play, maybe a little more knowledge and experience so that they can play even better, when we get back and play Texas A&M in 2 weeks, which is going to be a huge challenge for us. And Obviously, the 3 opponents we have before we have another bye week, we'll try to get some work on them, in this bye week as well. But I think the big focus is improvement. Every part of the team, every player on the team, what do I need to do to improve in this bye week?
We want to see a lot of you in College Station and then right back here on the Nick Saban Show next week.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Share a Coke. By Cooper Tires. Count on Cooper, an American company since 1914. And by Tiffin Motorhomes, made to move you.